respectfully hand the microphone over to BJ.
Longer than these, perhaps. Which one am I going with? Both?
Go for it, stereo.
In stereo, I like that indeed. Yeah, I was one of the panelists back in, was it August of 2010 at the Cedar Hill Rec Center. And I made my way, as did Bob, off to my immediate right, still single Bob, to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Obviously, neither one of us came back with a Mexican girl, but we did receive some, I think, some outstanding treatment by the surgeon there, and it was a good, you know, again, I would do it again for sure, but I, like some of the other panelists here, didn't quite get as much of a pop from the procedure as I was anticipating or hoping, only in that when I was still kind of moving about, going backwards, say a couple, 3 years, by the way, I was diagnosed with, right out of the gate, with primary progressive MS in 1996, and back then I was pretty much as normal as most of you people out in this audience here in terms of the way I walked. But things certainly have slid into a little bit of a worse state since then. But what got my attention with that liberation treatment, with the opening up of the blood flow in the veins and whatnot, is when I was still able to be, you know, okay in terms of my walking with a walker. If I would load up with a lot of niacin, when I say a lot of niacin, which is a D3 sort of, it really dilates your blood vessels and veins. When I would do that, when I say load up, I'm talking 500 milligrams, which is a pretty good pop. And believe me, you feel like someone just dropped you into a burning fire pit. I was singing that song by Johnny Cash quite frequently, but I tell you, for a matter of 2 or 3 minutes, I could walk as normal as any of my 2 brothers who are perfectly physically able today. But however, as soon as that niacin wore itself off, I mean, I was reaching for my walker and walls instantly. So my thinking was, with this liberation treatment, what if I was to get a pop like that lasted more than 3 minutes? How about 3 years? I did, you know, right off the hop when I had that procedure done in Cabo, I mean, I did feel like all of a sudden I had taken a pretty good pop of niacin, because I felt this, obviously, this warm flow going through my body with the increased circulation. So that was reassuring right off the hop. But you know, when I was in the cath room, of course, when I felt this, the first thing I proceeded to do was try to lift my left arm up like this, and which of course my left arm is not so mobile, and it still isn't that mobile even after the liberation treatment. But you know, that didn't happen right on the cath table, so I kind of took a little bit of wind out of my sails. But a lot of things have been a lot better since the treatment. Like I say, everything is still as good as it was initially with my circulation. My feet are not all puffy in different colors. They're not always frozen like they used to be prior to the surgery. And I didn't have any pop with respect to a lot of the other conditions people are talking about, only because I never had those issues to begin with. My biggest issue has been, and seems to be, is just my physical mobility. I just cannot get out of this chair and walk across that floor. I can stand for eternity if I have something to kind of hang on to for balance, but you know, the again, like I say, you've got to kind of go into it, I guess, with a level head. You know, this is definitely not a miracle, but like I say, it is certainly a piece of the puzzle, and I think it was well worth going in to pursue that. And I may be going in for another go. Yeah, just at this point in the game, I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be going back to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, or if I might, as Sandra did, went to the clinic in the United States, the one in Newport Beach, California, for instance. But definitely I've got that on the radar, and whether or not I do that, it would likely happen either later this year or early into 2012. But anyways, I think that's all I can add to this puzzle now, and I think my 5 minutes is fast approaching, so I'll hand it back to Ernie.